We will now call the Mequon Municipal Water Utility Commission meeting to order. Please call the roll.
You thought this was going to be a short meeting, huh?
I did.
You are
Please call the roll.
sorely mistaken.
We're starting.
Are we sewer or water?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, Commissioner Nervin. Sorry, Commissioner Nervin.
Oh,
Is that
here.
Here? Okay.
I usually go last. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Commissioner Talaco. Commissioner Bratt.
Here.
Here.
Did you say?
Commissioner Hancher.
Here.
Commissioner Meyer.
Here?
Maybe bring that just a little bit closer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Awful faint.
I have a Commissioner Bach. I'm sorry, can you not hear me?
Here. Yeah, I
I'm
couldn't
so sorry.
originally.
I'm
Now I
so
can.
sorry.
Yeah.
Commissioner Parrish.
Here.
Commissioner Gebhardt. Here. And I have a Commissioner Strelchak.
We're all back. That's good. First up, we have approval of the meeting minutes of November 4th. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or feedback on the minutes? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. First up, 3 items for discussion and possible action. The first of which is authorizing a contract to award and replace 3 hydrants and 1 valve to Wilcom Excavating of Union Grove, Wisconsin, in the amount of $71,700.
This is our annual infrastructure replacement project where we have a series of hydrants or valves that are non-functional, and we go out for bids to have replacements.
Any questions from the Water Commission or a motion?
Move approval.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll. Yeah, roll call vote. Please. Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
The ayes have it. On to approving an award for the following items. A contract for implementation of a replacement of supervisor control and data acquisition, otherwise referred to here forward as SCADA, so I don't have to say that twice. A system to integrated process solutions of Boston, Minnesota, in the amount of $1,921,500. And B, the execution of task order 2 for project management services under existing contract with MSA Professionals of Kiel, Wisconsin, in the amount of $20,000. Take it away, Jim.
So this is part of our capital plan that we came out with in 2017, that we knew that eventually we would need the SCADA system replacement. Recently, the contractor that maintains the existing SCADA system indicated that the current one needed a significant investment. So we went out to bid for a request for proposals with MSA that was approved about 6 months ago. The consultant put together this request for proposals. We put it out to the integrators, and they came back with proposals. Based off of grading that we did, it was a performance-based proposal. We chose IPS to do the project.
Any questions from the water commissioners? Commissioner Parrish.
Yep, thank you. Welcome, Mr. Voigt. We have an excellent water utility, thanks to your company, City Water. That was partly some of my questioning. Can you quickly explain why City Water might not consider, like it's a software that you use to provide services to us, so why isn't it a software that City Water owns? Do the other municipalities that you service, what systems do they use? Is there some kind of discount by pooling together?
Well, there's a ton of hardware involved here too.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. It seems
Yeah.
pretty technical. So I guess that was my first question, and then I just have a follow-up question.
Yeah, this is kind of like a niche, like market. The integrators that basically they package the software. Software is done by about 4 different companies that create the software packages, but then you have these integrators that build all the panels and they design the screens that we look at that let us know what's going on. So it's just kind of like a group of firms that integrate these things. It's a very niche little market. And then to answer your question on what do we use at other locations, the municipalities that have SCADA systems that I work with, some use Wonderware, others will utilize I can't remember the name of it, but there are several different software firms or software packages that are utilized for these SCADA systems. It's basically they create these for the community because each community has different lift stations, different well stations, and they kind of custom create the SCADA system.
And just a note, because it's on water and sewer tonight, our SCADA system is for both the water utility and the sewer utility, whereas some municipalities only require one or the other. They may not require both. For example, we have the SCADA for the water systems in Thiensville, Bayside, and River Hills, whereas Thiensville just needs to monitor their sanitary sewer system. They also only have one lift station, and we have 23 maybe in county, so.
Okay, that makes sense. And then my other question just relates to, there was 3 vendors, and then you went with the highest price vendor, who obviously, reading the scorecard, did a great job with the interview. Looks like they did a great job with their presentation and PowerPoint and merits of their proposal. But is the medium company that would save $250,000, are they really that, what are we gaining by choosing the company that had the nicest proposals versus, it doesn't seem like there's a difference in their technical ability.
Sure, they're both good companies. The IPS, the one that we recommended, the difference between them and Energenics is actually about $100,000. If you look on the tab, which I think I can get to here, Energenics had the 2027 water sites total and 2028 water sites total. They listed $0 for each one of those. I think they misunderstood that we wanted a number for what it would cost for those sites to be added, but we knew that in future years we would have to negotiate the price, due to obviously labor costs go up, the cost of the, what do you call them, I'm drawing a mind blank, but the little computer processors that go into the panels, those will go up in price over time. And so they knew that, we were going to negotiate in the future, and for some reason they threw $0 in both of these two figures.
So it's not apples to apples?
Right. So if you take let's say we just put $75,000 in each one of those, the dollar amount comes to, a little over $100,000 difference between the two prices. When IPS was talking to us in their presentation, the one thing that we really liked about IPS is they brought up several options. The options were, hey, instead of a radio system, have you considered cellular? And what got intriguing about cellular was 2 things. One was the upfront cost, they said, was about, and this was just back of the envelope, they said about $150,000 less in capital costs upfront. Now you have O&M costs for, your monthly fees that you pay, but, that wasn't all that much, when we started talking to the cellular companies. We haven't decided to go that route yet, but it's intriguing from a, upfront capital spend. But the other thing is it provides functionality. You now have the ability for the integrator to log into the computer directly or into each one of the stations directly, and they can troubleshoot the problem directly, versus if it's a radio system, they have to come in order to get to the radio or get to the station and find out what the problem might be. So it provided an increased functionality and a lower upfront capital cost, which was very interesting. The other thing is, in their proposal, they had already done a desktop study on the radio propagation. So they're looking at, how many of these radios can we reach? They were providing us with feedback on, you only accounted for 30-foot antennas, but there's a couple of locations at these stations where you might need a taller antenna just based off of the desktop study. So there would be a change order if it turns out that we needed to have that taller antenna. So they had done their homework, which we thought was great. And the other thing that we really appreciated was they also were talking about, just skipped my mind. Financing. That was what it was. They also were talking financing. So they knew that we had this stretched out over, 4 years, and their thought process was, did you realize that you're going to have to operate 2 SCADA systems over the period of the 4 years? And so they thought, if it's a money issue, the possibility exists that we could provide you with financing so that you could do this all at once and then have one SCADA system to operate, not have to operate 2 separate SCADA systems. Obviously, we didn't, accept that. We just, thought it was an interesting way of looking at a possibility of doing it all at once versus doing it over a course of years. So I guess we just looked at the fact that they really did their homework and they provided options, and they also provided us with, images of what the system would look like based off of the software that we preferred, where the other vendor was providing images of Wonderware instead of VT SCADA. Because I hadn't worked with VT SCADA very much, they weren't giving us examples of the software we were interested in.
I just wanted to say that you do a great job for Mequon, and I feel very comfortable with your recommendation after your explanation. So thank you.
Okay, thanks.
An excellent question, though. Thank you. I think I saw Rob's hand first. I'm sorry. Commissioner Strelchak.
Hey, with regards to SCADA systems, did you get a bill of materials on that from the systems integrators?
What we did was we provided them with a list of, this is what we want installed at each one of the stations. So it listed, this specific PLC, because we wanted to standardize. One of the goals we were trying to accomplish was, if we can standardize the same PLC across all of the stations, including water and sewer, if ever there's a problem, we have all the same equipment that we can utilize at each station. So we kind of went to them with we want this PLC, we want these radios, we gave them, this is exactly what we're looking for. So it was an apples to apples comparison.
Okay, good.
Yep.
And are you procuring the hardware, or are they procuring the hardware for you?
They're providing the hardware.
Consider asking for the bill of materials and the hardware that they want on the timeline that they want it. There might be some significant cost savings there, as well as any licensing with software to run the SCADA system that's billed directly to the utility from the provider. Pay them for the integration, which is where they're best, but that's just a bit of coaching.
Okay.
I don't know who you've got. Please don't tell me, because I'll have to walk away, because I work for, an industrial automation company. I've done nothing with sewer and water. I have no idea what we have for an install base here in the city. But just wanted to let you know there's some ways to save money. Also, when you're considering the radio frequency, you want to make sure that you check with internal IT and make sure that that meets all of the cybersecurity protocols in that space. If it doesn't, the upfront cost for the hardwiring is definitely worth the value, because with the cyber attacks as they're coming in, they do tend to go towards municipalities, and then major utilities are high on that list. And if you've introduced a vulnerability point in that space, also make sure you have a cybersecurity protocol as it stands when you're reviewing that, and make sure that the integrator sets you up with that, and they just don't get access to the system, because if they're hacked and somebody gets into their system and then they now get into ours and every one of their customers, you want to make sure you have a protocol for validation that you've set up with our IT department based on our, city cybersecurity protocols. Okay.
Thank you.
You addressed all that?
We actually met with the IT department about the cybersecurity. Yep.
Good. Well, good for you working with the IT department. I'm excited to hear that you are, because that's a big first step. So thank you. Great job.
Yep. Thanks.
Commissioner Meyer.
Just real quick on the software side of this. Do we have built inside of there that upgrades in that won't cost us anything more for X amount of years in doing this? Or what is the length of time that software is going to be covered? As we all know, this software has a tendency to get outdated, and so they do upgrades all the time. And it has happened in the past where they have, I think I saw that when we did the office ones years back, and there were upgrades going and said, well, you have to have that, and then we got charged for it. So Is there something built into this contract that says, for X amount of years, you don't have to pay for upgrades and stuff like that for the software?
Yeah, I don't know if it addresses that. That's a good question, Dale.
So we'll check on that.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions from the commission? Seeing none, do we have a motion and a second yet?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second, we do now. Any further questions? It's a big sum of money, so let's do another roll call vote.
All right, Commissioner Nervin,
Aye.
Commissioner Talaco, Commissioner Brett, Commissioner Hancher,
Aye.
Commissioner Meyer, Commissioner Bach,
Aye.
Commissioner Parrish,
Aye.
Commissioner Gebhardt,
Aye.
Commissioner Strelchak.
I'll take the tie vote and say yes.
There we go, all right. Don't worry, we'll get the vote on it another time in just a few minutes. Back to the top here, our last item is authorization of 2 exemption requests from the Village of Thiensville for the requirement to extend the water main along the property lines at 240 Crescent Lane and 609 to 610 Oakwood Drive.
So the Village in Alberta subdivision is this subdivision right here on the north end of Thiensville. This is, for reference, this is Green Bay Avenue, and this is Woodside Lane. So this is on a private well system, an OTM system right now. And they approached us because they were looking at connecting to our system because they're having problems with the existing OTM other than municipal system that they're operating right now. The orange is proposed water main that would loop through. Blue mains are our mains that we currently maintain and operate. And the orange is what's been proposed to be looped through. Our connection rules require these green extensions to the property lines because these green homes also are connecting. So our existing connection rules require these green extensions. And what the engineer and the subdivision and the village are asking is if they can be exempted, which is allowed in the rules, to eliminate these 2 green water main sections and then just install these long pink laterals that you can see here to serve these properties. We have no need to extend the water main beyond this because we already serve the customers beyond in this location off of existing main. And where this key exists, this is actually a retainage pond. So we don't have any need to extend beyond that. Besides, we already have customers that are served by existing main over here also.
Thank you, it makes sense. I just have one question for the 2 properties. I think it's 609 and 610. Those are really, really long, small laterals. Are those going to be private laterals in the right-of-way, or is that our infrastructure up until the valve at the lot line? I'm just curious.
So that's a good.
I'm just curious to know how it works.
Yeah, so that's a good question. There are other homes on River Road that have long laterals similar to this. Solvang Lane is a good example of that. There's like 2 and 3 lots back that are served off of River Road with long laterals like this. But the curb stop boxes at that location are actually located within 10 feet of the water main in the public right-of-way of River Road. So what we could do is currently the curb stops are at this location because there's existing main that runs down here. What we could do is just have the curb stop boxes placed here and here and have these as long private laterals running back to the homes. Then it would be the responsibility of the homeowner to maintain those laterals. So we would just put our shutoff valves in the public right-of-way of Cardell Lane, or Cardinal Lane. Crescent Lane.
It'll be fine for now, but in 50 years when that homeowner has to dig that lateral up through his neighbor's lot line, there might be some.
Well, we could place it in the public right-of-way
Yeah,
of Oakwood. It would be in the public
You and I
right-of-way.
understand
Yeah.
the road right away, but most people don't. They'll just ask, why are you digging up my yard? That answers it. I think it's it's a lot of infrastructure to put main there when there's only 2 people on it. Any other questions from the commission? Is there a motion, perhaps?
Move to approve.
Motion and a second. Any further feedback or comment? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Looks like that exemption request just got approved. All right. That brings us to the end of water. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're adjourned.